What's good, family? You done know. It's your boy Jeds. I'm back with another My 2pence. You get me? Well, I'm Jada. I brought Jada in the building today. What you say, Jada? Talk to them. What you want to say? Anyway, yeah, man. Happy to be doing another episode. My 2pence. Big up everyone that's been watching, everyone that's subscribed. Big up everyone that's we got everyone that's been showing love to the content and everyone supporting. You get me? Rest yourself. Don't overdo it, Jada. Yeah? Rest yourself. Oh my God. Alright, cool. So, let's get straight into it. Jada, what are you doing, man? Yeah, you sit there. You sit there. You sit there. And do what you're doing, man. Oh my God. Cool. So, first things first. Hope we're good. Hope we're good. Hope it's straight and that. If not. Yeah, first things first, man. A submarine in Egypt. I don't know if you lot have seen. Everyone that's subscribed to JEDIONLINE on any platform, you lot would have seen. I went to Egypt 2 weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks ago, and I got on a submarine, the Sinbad submarine, and it was a mad experience. Yeah, like I just thought it'd be something new to try, and I didn't really consider all the dangers of this thing. Man went on this submarine. I enjoyed myself. You know, the submarine windows were kind of dirty. I was just happy to be on a submarine and be under the sea and looking and seeing what I could see. Get me? I was probably looking for Atlantis. I see a couple fish. It was all right. It was meh. It weren't like the greatest experience, but it's one that I ticked off like, right, I've been on a submarine, been under the sea kind of thing. Anyway, I left 2 weeks later. They've had this mad incident where the submarine, the same submarine I got on the Sinbad submarine, sank, and I think 6 people died, maybe even some kids, 9 people critically injured, 29 people or so had to be evacuated. Apart from that, it was just a mad thing, right? And I think there was like 40 people on board in total, and it just made me think about how fleeting life can be and how precious life is, and the fact that we need to preserve life, man, and enjoy your life and whatnot. And I don't feel like taking certain unnecessary risks is worthwhile. Same way I wouldn't really go like mountain climbing, like I wouldn't climb Everest, or I'm not trying to skydive. I don't go on rides anymore. I told you lot in one of My 2pences my story about going to I think it was Alton Towers, and my experience with the ride crashing after I left. And so there's been a few incidences where after I've dabbled in something or partaken in some kind of activity, the full danger of what I did comes back to haunt me because there's a story of some tragedy or something that happened. So condolences to the families involved, kids and whatnot. It's a sad story, man. Health and safety abroad ain't always what it's cracked up to be. Do you know what I mean? They were proper boasting to be the only submarine in Africa, or the first submarine in Africa, one of those two claims. And from what I'm seeing, the safety regulations of this submarine weren't really up to scratch. People have been making complaints about seeing scratches and lack of life vests and stuff like that. So yeah, man, it's just a mad sad story. It kind of shook me up still, because I'm thinking, rah, man was on there, bro. That could have been my dance done. I feel like I've had another close call, and another reminder. So give thanks for the reminders and condolences to the families affected. You know what I mean? Take calculated risks, yeah, but don't do unnecessary shit, because when it comes on top, there's no real excuse of why you was there. So just try and keep it calm. I know everything we do has some element of danger to it. But yeah, man, I just wanted to share that story, man. I was on a submarine. 2 weeks later, that submarine sank. People dead on there, and I don't know how I would have fared. People panicked. You're losing the air pressures is dropping. People are losing coherentness. They're losing their rationality. It's making them get all confused. They're panicking. People are screaming. People trying to climb out the hatch. It's nuts. So I feel like the thing started crashing. The thing started sinking while people were still on top, or something like that. Or it went down with the hatch above. Anyway, I'm gonna play a video.
Тихо, тихо, тихо. Проходи быстро, подводные лодки. Сейчас все будем погружаться. Все, погружение началось у нас. Потихонечку мы уже опускаемся. Тихо, тихо, тихо. Проходи быстро, adamlar.
I think we were great. I think and the
Where came in my what's your name? How do you do? Everything is okay? Are you okay?
Okay.
Everything is okay?
Все нормально.
Okay. What's your name? Erika. Erika.
Это наш губернатор.
Arina.
Yeah, what I can say, everywhere give accidents. Very sad, but no brothers. I feel sad for the families and for the people for sure. We just saw, my friend went to the water when the boat was going out, and she said, that's listing funny. She said, that submarine's going out, but it's like on a funny angle. And then we didn't think anything about it. And then afterwards we found out.
And yeah, man, let me know what you think about that in the comments, man, because that's a mad thing. What else we got here? Boom! Young Philly. Young Philly accused of another essay of a young woman, this time in Magaluf. I'm saying this brother can't catch a break. Now, in terms of his guilt and what has he done, I can't comment on whether he's guilty or not, clearly, because I don't know the facts, you know. My assessment is that when you're a young, good-looking young man with talent, girls will throw themselves at you, or women will seem more accessible to you than the average guy. I'm just saying that not every flower that you smell you have to pick up. You don't have to pick every flower. You can leave some flowers. You need to start practicing some discernment, young men, yeah, because it's a dangerous playing field. Going out, clubs and this, that, rare, hotel party, rare. You need to be wary. There's women that will make false allegations, and there's women that maybe possibly will interpret your behavior differently. Do you know what I mean? In today's climate, cancelling man and showing that men are perverts and men are rapists and whatever is all the rage. I've been speaking about this. I'm going to continue to speak about this. Yeah, this is the season of the male pervert, the black male pervert especially, being exposed. The white man has been exposed for their pervertedness to the point where certain crimes in that category, you just stereotypically associate it with the sons and daughters of Europe. But the new wave of propaganda is to tie in more melanated African, Caribbean, American black men, especially the talented, powerful ones, just to show you that women can't trust men. It's a whole propaganda thing, and I don't know what young Philly has done and what he hasn't done. Yeah, but just please, family, just be careful.
Another woman has come out about young Philly, accusing him of rape. The YouTuber is now facing fresh allegations after a British tourist accused him of forcing himself on her at an unnamed Magaluf hotel after he performed in the island holiday resort last summer. The woman, believed to be aged around 20, reported him to the police in Britain, who passed on the details of the allegation to counterparts in Spain. Many people are saying she may have just come out after the recent Australia situation, but it did say as well the woman is understood to have sparked the ongoing Spanish court probe after reporting it to UK police force a few weeks after she returned to Britain following the end of her summer holiday. So she reported it when she got back, and this was alleged to have happened last year. So what's the details of this incident that allegedly took place last summer? Well, basically it says the woman alleges that young Philly awed her. They first met at Magaluf Beach Club where he performed, and then they bumped into each other a few hours later nearby a nightclub. She told the police that the alleged sex attack occurred after she had consensual sex with his friend in a hotel room. Young Philly awed her after she was accompanied by the other man to the rapper's room before ending up alone with him. So this person played a part in taking her to young Philly's room. Then obviously once she was alone, she claimed she was taken advantage of. To be exact, in this situation, apparently young Philly had forced himself on her. So this girl wanted to do stuff with his friends, done that, but didn't want to do anything with Philly, but was forced into it by him. So another arch charge he is facing in this country. The girl was obviously distressed, but didn't report it over there to the Spanish authorities. Maybe the language barrier, not knowing, and she knows young Philly is a celebrity, he's from the UK, so wanted to do it back home, and that's where she reported it. The British authorities contacted the Spanish civil guard, who passed on the details of the allegation and were investigating the situation. It was not immediately clear today if she had already been questioned by the judge in charge of the ongoing criminal probe. A well-placed source said that the magistrates had contacted authorities in Australia so they can try and question young Philly about this case. The Spanish authorities want to speak to him. Apparently this part of Spain, the law is they only conduct things behind closed doors. It doesn't come out to the press. That's normal in Spain, where only the trials themselves are held in public, which I think is a lot more fairer way of doing things, because accusations like this can tarnish people's names without it even being true. Even if it's alleged, before it even goes to an actual trial, their name gets ruined. Now people are going to say there's multiple women, it's definitely true, and that is not the case. We still have to see each situation in a courtroom play out if it gets to that, but definitely this is not going to help him. He goes away in Australia on tour and finds himself in a situation, and when he was on Magaluf performing another situation, it definitely is not going to help the narrative around him going forward. So actually Magaluf has been getting a bad reputation for having a rowdy culture and many women being taken advantage of on holiday and making reports that are left for years, and now this is hitting an Australian trial being covered in the mainstream. The Spanish authorities are trying to get involved to save themselves the backlash, saying that there was a woman there that was odd a year ago and nothing's happened, but look at how Australia are dealing with it, putting him under punishment and keeping him in the country. It's just going to make their country look bad, so they're pushing on it.
Once you get these charges on you, it's like they kind of stick. Mud sticks, it leaves a stain, it leaves a stench, and people start side-eyeing you. You can see from, social media, certain of these men them have publicly, disconnected with him, if you want to call it that. As in, they're not speaking on him, they're not saying that, and they just keep him stum. Maybe that's what they've been advised to do with management. Maybe that's all they can do. Maybe they think my man's guilty. I don't know. Let me know what you lot think in the comments. Magaluf is a party island in Europe, and things go down there. Things go down. Man them, be careful. Women, please guard yourself. Put yourself in good situations. Do your best to protect yourself. Do you know what I mean? And when in doubt, just leave out. You know what I mean? Don't be going with these strange guys because you think man's funny or you think man's got a pee. You don't know what motivates man. You don't know what gets man off. And you don't know how he's looking at the world. Just take your time. Do you know what I mean? This for all involved. Apparently she agreed to have intercourse with his friend, and then he forced himself on her. This is the claim. And apparently this claim was had been lodged. The chick left Magaluf, came UK, and she lodged a complaint there, and this claim apparently stems back before the Australia charge. So it's like people will think there's no smoke without fire. I ain't gonna comment on guilt or innocence, because who am I? I'm not a judge. I don't know what I want. Do you know what I mean? I really don't know Wagwan. I don't know the brother. I don't know his behavior. I don't know his attitude. I don't know the girls involved, you know. So I'ma reserve my full judgment. You know, we've had a good few conversations on this on TikTok and whatnot. And yeah, it just comes down to his word against hers and the evidence. So we'll see Wagwan. And you know, man will follow the case and see what's going on with this one. I don't know if he's been arrested for this recent allegation. I don't know. But yeah, for young Philly, it's looking peak, fam. Yeah? It's looking peak for young Philly. Alright, man. Let's move on. Boom. Schools want to, you see, I've got my little iPad now. You get me? Getting more professional. Yeah, schools are suggesting misogyny sessions for children. But they say for children, but it's mainly for boys, yeah? What they're saying is there's an epidemic of boys that are misogynistic or being basically radicalized by people like Andrew Tate. Now, I'm sick of talking about this subject. I've spoken about it a few times. Even last week on the last pod, Speakonomics, we're speaking about whether Andrew Tate is an agent, you know, his dad was in the CIA, or is he like an enemy of the state? In the drama Adolescence on Netflix, I watched a couple of episodes. I didn't finish it. It was like filmed in a one-shot style with Ashley Waters, and basically he's talking about a young man that has basically unalived one of his school friends or a girl from his school. And you know, Andrew Tate was brought up like he's one of the reasons behind the way the boy sees the world. And I just thought, rah, this is like mad propaganda. They're proper trying to convince us that Andrew Tate is shaping the views of the young. But I think that they're promoting Andrew Tate and they're making people want to look into him. And then I don't see anything in his views that is telling people to like shank gal. I don't see how that's Andrew Tate, but this is part of the process of bringing Andrew Tate to the forefront yet again, and making him a celebrity. I think that whatever they're teaching about relationships in schools, I think that shit should be taught at home. Parents, family members, uncles, aunts, grandmas, granddads, neighbors, you don't need to start talking to your children, the children around you, supporting their development and giving them information. You shouldn't wait to go to school to be taught how to treat a woman, yeah? Or what's consent, or what's appropriate, or what's not. We're living in a hypersensitive world where selective outrage is being encouraged and promoted. You know, I'm always talking about the powers that be and the way that they're trying to shape the way we see the world. I think that's the main reason why I wanted to do my 2pence, because I know a lot of the time my worldview is one of like an outsider, in terms of I'm looking at the drama unfold and I'm trying to observe without absorbing, you know. And you know, big up man like Tizza, he knows about them ones, man. Yeah, you need to just look without taking it all on board and letting them spin your brain and misdirect you to looking that way or that way, because ultimately the powers that be don't care about you. They don't care about your kids. They don't care about misogyny. It's just a tool to keep dividing the sexes, dividing the genders, and making people not trust each other. Do you know what I mean, Jada? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. They just wanna teach the kids about you know, intercourse. They want to teach the kids about genders. They want to teach the kids about now misogyny and how to treat a woman and and it seems to be all focused on women as well. Like boys are being demonized. They're being shown that they're dangerous and that they need special training on how to relate to women, and you know, women's egos are being appealed to as well. Women's fear and women's egos are being appealed to and manipulated. So they're becoming even more untrusting of men. And this is a lose-lose scenario. Yes, I do think it's important that young men know the right way to conduct themselves. But I think it being part of this wave of propaganda against men, this anti-man propaganda, And yeah, I just don't think that's a good look. So guys, please take control of the education of your children, and you know, be instrumental in what information they take on board. Be instrumental in influencing their worldview, because there's think tanks and groups and governments and shadowy organizations that are hell-bent on controlling the paradigm that your children see this beautiful thing called life through. So yeah, just be mindful, man. You know what I mean? Obviously, video must have played already. Let me get to the next one, man. All right, so the European governments, Jada, European governments are saying, yeah?
Device has lost connection to the internet.
Shut up.
Please try again a bit later.
Sorry. The UK European governments are saying that we need to prepare for war times. You need to have supplies, food supplies, and all kinds of doomsday type prepping for an imminent war that could happen at any time. And I feel like they've been saying this for a while.
How to prepare for a war or crisis when you have little experience with both. Many people in the Netherlands have found their way to so-called prep shops.
First we have the emergency radio. If you have no power and no batteries, you can charge it by using the hand crank. And then we have emergency ration. This will feed up to one adult for 24 hours, and you can store it for 7 years.
Products that should make people self-sufficient for at least 72 hours. After warning from NATO's chief and former Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte, more than 50% of Dutch people have bought emergency equipment or are planning to do so. Rutte gave this warning in December, anticipating reduced US support for NATO under Donald Trump.
Danger is moving towards us at full speed. We must not look the other way. It is time to shift to a wartime mindset.
As a result, prep shops like this one have seen orders multiply, with water purifiers especially popular.
After 4 days, our water bottles are all finished, so it would be useful to know how to purify water ourselves.
With most transactions now cashless, authorities have advised people to keep at least €500 in cash at home.
I don't think anybody is expecting at this moment that a war would take the shape of, say, tanks rolling into The Hague. I think everybody's expecting that war at this moment manifests in different ways. Cyberspace, cyber war, but also the idea of sabotage.
Being prepared for war is easier said than done for generations in Europe growing up in peacetime. While many have followed the advice from NATO and the EU, others blame political leaders for creating fear, with only one goal: to sell large defense spending to their citizens. To cut dependency on the United States and anticipate possible threats from Russia, the European Union has announced a package of $860 billion for defense.
This whole talk about prepping emergency kits and the possibility of war coming to us is a way of preparing our minds for war and also starting an arms race. But if we start an arms race with Russia, then actually you can get into a dynamic which in the end will make all of us more insecure. Thinking about peace, about diplomacy will actually disappear.
Fear-mongering or not, outside the prep shops, war or other emergencies still feels like something.
I can't remember what the first country in Europe was that made this statement, but this was like, I'm gonna say like 5-6 months ago. They're stepping up, they're repeating themselves, and I think what we need to take away from it is that, as usual, the governments like to promote fear. Fear is the ultimate tool of control, you know. So you want to control people, make them fearful. So now you got all this worry of, oh, something might kick off, whatever. Plus, you're getting people to spend their, like, basically they made a recommendation of like, make sure you have like 500 in your yard in cash. Now, if it all kicks off and things start going mad, I don't even know if your cash is going to be that useful. Secondly, with the cost of living crisis that we're experiencing, the recessions and things of that nature, many people do not have £500 in cash full stop, let alone spare to keep in their yard. Like, what are we talking about? Yeah? I just think it's a lot of fear mongering. Now, there may be some plans for things to kick off. Basically what they're saying is, the US ain't backing us no more. The US ain't backing us no more. It might kick off with Russia, and they want you to like be fearful that we're on the precipice of a madness. Think for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that you should already be prepared. Yeah, the advice they're giving you only lasts about 72 hours. The things that they're telling you to get, and that this shit only lasts about 72 hours. Yes, you should have a bug out bag. You should be prepped, doomsday prepped. Yes, I believe so. You should have fire starting stuff, health stuff, water sanitation, water purification stuff, dry foods, tarpaulin, knives, weaponry, things that, you know, you should be having this already. Don't wait for the government to be telling you to do it. You should be prepared anyway, because you never know. Tomorrow ain't promising. We don't know what's around the corner. That being said, man, don't let them get you shook. Don't let them fearmonger you. You know what I mean? And spend your last shekels. Right now, everyone's worried about war and all that. So guess what? The sale of arms is going to go up. Countries are going to now start, you know what I mean, buying up more guns and bombs and ammunition and spending money on war. You know, they got money for war but can't feed the poor. We're in interesting times, family. So I just thought I'd highlight that story there. Boomski. I don't know the name of, you know, I'm not into football. I don't know the name of this manager, but there's a manager who has been divorced, and the divorce settlement, the wife has been awarded $126 million, and I think that's like half of his assets. I think that's half of his worth. It's crazy, you know. Definitely putting people off getting married. Definitely putting people off getting married without a prenup.
126 million. 126 million. What did my manager do to deserve this? I ain't gonna lie to you guys. This is exactly the reason why men do not want to get married, bro. 126 million gone just like that. Bearing in mind, I did a bit of research. Pep Guardiola's net worth is about 240 million. So half of that is just gone, wiped, snapped like Thanos. Not only has he lost custody of his kids and lost a wife that he's been with for 30 years, but now you want to take basically everything he owns. And I heard one of the reasons this woman left Pep was because he signed a contract extension. Are you taking the piss? So because he's trying to make more money for the family, you divorce him. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. She couldn't handle the tactics, bro. She couldn't handle the trophies. But no, for real though, we need to build Pep Guardiola a statue. He would rather lose his wife than Man City. If that's not a true blue, then I don't know. But now, all jokes aside, the person who made this, there is a special place for you in hell. The man has lost his kids, lost his wife, lost his wealth, and you want to make sly comments like this? Come on now. No wonder the guy was scratching his face, having meltdowns. Bro was going through it. But yeah, keep laughing at my goat, bro. It don't matter. Because you're about to see a side of Pep that we have never seen before. Divorce Pep, yeah, it's over.
I don't know why people are still doing that. It's making it seem like marriage is properly useless for men. It's another blow to the unification of man and woman. Now, if I marry a woman and we get divorced and she won't take 126 million, you know what? I don't know. Accidents happen. That's what I'm gonna say. Accidents happen. It's mad. Now, obviously, the value of life is way above, you know, money. But at the same time, to work and grind and build yourself up to get to a certain point, be in a relationship, and that person in that relationship feel like they're entitled to half of everything you have. That's a harsh blow for a man. That's a harsh blow for a woman, because I've seen it happen to certain women before as well. I think it happened to Halle Berry. I think Halle Berry's ex-husband took half of her shit, or took a big portion of money. Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing, boy. He must be stressed. He must be stressed. Apparently, they're citing the reason was for the divorce, something to do with him taking on new contracts and that, which makes no sense. You don't want him to take on no new contracts and make more money, but then you're prepared to take half the money that he does have. So it's a wickedness. Yeah? Man them, gal them, be careful who you're marrying, but at the same time, you know, do your prenups and these things, man. Try to safeguard. Yeah, people are moving scandalous out here. There's a young lady on TikTok. I don't know what her name is, but Jada, can you move? Can you move so I can sit back, please? My God, a big ass butt. Yeah, yeah. There's a woman on TikTok who has made some crazy claims about two artists from North London, Abracadabra, PK Humble, and she's claiming that they in a group essayed her. Now I don't know how true it is or not, but the way that she tells the story, her energy makes me think, now this ain't right. So I immediately made my little skit saying if I was a judge and whatever.
PK is a failed roadman. PK Humble and a lot of the OFB lot used to actually chill on the block with my cousin, who went to go and rob Wood Green boy. But since then, PK, Abra, another black youth from their little batch, and a Somali youth that always used to roll around with them around like 2017 times, they gang raped me. Yeah. And then PK and the black youth,
oh Jesus,
the smaller one, obviously the smaller one to Abra. Abra's like a fucking scary giant. But yeah, they proceeded to pursue me and like would come up to where I lived in Harrow in my temporary accommodation in their little rented whips, thinking they was bad boys. I don't know whether they borrowed Abra's or Abra was paying for them. I don't know it. But all I know is, at one point I've said to PK, I need to make some money in it because my cousin's just been end off. It's my auntie, my autistic cousin. Like, I need to do something in it. So then he's put me in contact with his friend, who they've told me follow them. I've jumped in this vehicle and I don't know where I'm going. I've ended up at Bristol Airport and basically I'm forced to take some cars out on fake ID.
Liar! A lie shall tell!
Interpol police
fucking liar!
pop out of nowhere. And I've got a criminal record now for life. So yes, Mandy.
Take this wench down. Case dismissed. Not guilty on all the accused. How dare you? Did you hear the way she said black youth? Take her down for her unjob. She attempted to...
It's obviously a hard job to look at the information and decide whether somebody has been raped or not. You know, this is an intimate time between two people, and it's very often there's no other witnesses. So to come to the conclusion of whether someone's guilty or not is a really tough job. Yeah, I would never be a judge. I never put myself in a scenario to change or alter someone's life based on what I think they may have or may have not done. So, you know, I can't comment too much on that. I'm very careful. I ain't trying to condemn the chick. However, it's not looking good. It's not looking like it's going in the girl's favor, especially the court of public opinion. She doesn't seem like a reliable one, man. Like, yet again, you need to be safeguarding yourself, yeah, against getting in these scenarios where women can make these claims. Yeah, please be very careful. Document things. Make sure you get consent over and over again. As soon as a woman says no, or even acts like she's not on it, you verify and confirm that whether she's on it or not. Don't continue. Don't force yourself on no woman. You know, and death to the rapists. Let me just say that if you are a rapist, if any of these people have been accused of rape are guilty, then yeah, bun them. But the fact is, it's hard for us to be able to tell. So we got we got young Philly, we got Andrew Tate, who also has been accused of some kind of assault against an ex-partner. And we got PK Humble, Abracadabra, also an online accusation was made. Like I said, this is the season. Yeah, pay attention. I've been telling you, this is the season for the black perverts, the black male perverts to be exposed and highlighted and put into the social consciousness that you can't trust men. Men have no control, and it's working. I'm talking to sisters, and the bitterness that they have towards men, the narratives that they run with, the narratives they're comfortable with propagating against men, it's kind of shocking. It's kind of scary. There's like a whole dissociation from the humanity of men and the fact that the majority of men are good people, good, kind, generous people. But we're focusing on the wickedness of man, the evil that men do. And when you focus on the evil that men do, you forget about the good that men do, and it's easy to just start stereotyping. So just be wary. That's what I'm saying. Be wary of what's going on out here, and arm yourself and be guarded. You know what I'm saying, Jada? Be guarded. Yeah? Jada, you got hair all on you, bro. So yeah, that's that story. You know, everybody's being accused of raping. Everyone's a rapist. Every man. And women are just like, yeah, men can't control themselves. Men don't know when to say no. And yeah, they are some men. They are some men. And maybe there's even more men that are being encouraged not to respect women as well. Yeah? So this is a two-tier or a double-edged kind of social engineering. Women fear men. Men don't respect women. This is what we're being told to do. You can't respect women. They're all on this. They're all making fake allegations. They're all on that. They're all OnlyFans. They're all fots. They all cheat. They're all this. They're that. Men, they're all rapists. They're all can't take no for answer. They're all abusive. They're all narcissists. Like, yeah, we need a large injection of love, you know, for one another back in society. Yeah, so try and promote that as much as you can. Positive, healthy relationships, because right about now it's a quagmire, man. And for the youths coming up, the programming is insane. It's fucking insane. Boom! A preacher sacked. I forgot what is it? Bob Sapp? No, it's Bob Sapp. Bob Sapp's a fighter, innit? Something Sapp anyway. That famous Sapp preacher. There's a video going around of him asking the ushers to lock the door.
Close the doors for me for a quick moment. I want everybody to remain standing quickly. How many of y'all really received something from the word of the Lord tonight? Listen, when you study scripture, you will notice that whenever God did something in the lives of the patriarchs of old, the patriarchs would pause, they would set up an altar, and they would offer up sacrifice. I asked each and every one of you how many of y'all received something from the word of the Lord. Everyone in this place said these words: I did. Because of your acknowledgement of what God did in word, there is an obligation that is attached to that acknowledgement. In biblical days, they offered livestock, grain. That was a type of currency. Note, if you will, I did not say money. I said currency. And this is what God is saying for at least 1,000 of you in the building. And this is simple. I'm not going to challenge you the way Bishop did, but I know that there's 1,000 individuals under the sound of my voice that can do what I'm about to challenge you all to do. This is simple. 1,000 people giving what I'm about to challenge will be $20,000. 1,000 people giving what I'm about to challenge you all to do will be $20,000. Now, for those of us who are on the dais, I'm taking you higher, so put it back. I'm a strong believer that leaders lead not only in time, not only in talent, but also in treasure. Leaders lead in time, talent, and treasure. I was taught a long time ago that it costs to sit up here. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna lead together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. Even if you're giving tangibly, just put your hand on the, take your phone and stick it on the bucket. Shh. Giving is worship. Giving is worship. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints. This is an easy miracle. We should be able to raise $40,000 tonight just from y'all giving. I'm about to go get in my truck. I'm going to my hotel. I got me some fruit. I'm doing fruit now. Fruit and water. I'm trying to look at us. Yeah. Now after you come up here, you can open the doors. Y'all walk out the door after you come up here. But make sure you come this way before you go out the door. That's it. Look at God. Look at what God has done. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'm good. I'm out. Peace.
Lock the door, yeah? Lock the door, because we need to get 40 bags out of this congregation. 40 bags. Some of you lot need to give $20 each, yeah? Some of you lot need to give $100 each, but everyone needs to pop off. This is like a slide, friendly religious robbery, yeah? These men are getting robbed religiously. Now, I got many views about corruption within religious institutions. And what I always say is, let's focus on the Catholic Church, the Church of England, and these big organizations. Let's focus on them and their corruption and highlight that first. Because what I've seen is the trend of black pastors, Pastor Toby, these type of people are being highlighted for their theft. Now, don't get me wrong. There's many pastors out there exploiting their flock, robbing their flock, and extorting their flock, riding around in a big whip, and then their constituents, their congregation is not doing so well. People bending over backwards to pay the church, pay their tithe and whatever, and can't even feed themselves or look after their direct family members. Please, family, man, look, it swings in both ways. I don't want you lot to demonize all pastors and all preachers and all imams and say everyone's corrupt, but discernment is needed, yeah? Discernment is needed. I don't think there's anything wrong with your pastor living good, looking fresh, and having some nice things. But there's a limit to the materialism. There's a limit to how far a pastor should be going. Do you know what I mean? And people are saying that this Mr. Sapp has crossed the line by saying close the doors and that. They're saying it's part way like kidnapping or false imprisonment. He's being accused of, like, you know, basically strong-arming his congregation. It's funny to me, man. I always make the joke about pastor offering, you know, and that's been an age-old thing. If you're going to spend your money with them, spend your money with the pastor, because otherwise you're going to go spend your money with who? The government or some other person that's robbing you. Everyone's out for the peas, yeah? So be mindful. Be mindful. Yeah, remember, the kingdom of heaven is within you. So the necessity of these large religious gatherings and that, you know, I'm skeptical about it, because I feel like just stay in your yard and praise your God. If it's genuine, praise your God. Why do you need to be in a church? Why do you need to be seen to be giving up big money? With people paying to be on the stage of the church? Like, I don't know, man. It just seems like a distasteful way to raise funds. You know what I mean? With the peer pressure and that. There's people here that literally have got the fear of God in them, and they think that you're God's representative, so they're gonna do what you say. So yeah, I can see that there's good people being taken advantage of. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was that story, bro. You know, a lot of podcasting. We got some new equipment, some new things are going on. I'm experimenting with content still. Big up to everyone that's showing love. Big up to everyone that shouts out, leaves comments. Next week I'm gonna be able to read the comments. So leave some comments. I'm gonna read your comments out next week. This week I can't do it. I've got some situations going on with the technology. I lost my phone. My only other phone is the phone I'm recording this on, because I'm not using the cameras today. I'm just doing it on my own. So you might slightly see a different sound. You might slightly hear it sounds different, or it looks different, you know, but we're gonna try and make it work. Next week I'll be reading comments. Big up everyone that subscribed. Big up the Patreon gang. Go and check out the Speakernomics. It's called Nefarious Nomics. Yeah, featuring the kid Southside, Big Man Dez, and Uncle Bane. Yeah, so it's featuring them three. I think the subtitle was like Industry Insider versus Conspiracy Theorist. So yeah, go check that out. I've put the full video up on Patreon, reigniting that Patreon. Big ups to everyone that's been holding on for content. There's a whole full hour of the podcast that you ain't seen that's on there. So get over to Patreon and show some love. I might even put the Patreon little thing here so you lot can see. You know, go over to Patreon/Triluminati. And that's really it, man. My 2 pence, we're done. It's early Sunday morning. Just want to get out of the way. I don't want to make it too long. And yeah, catch me next week for the next episode. Stay tuned. Every Thursday, Speakonomics goes up about 7:30. Sometimes it might be a bit late, but strictly it's 7:30. And yeah, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram, and follow me wherever you can. Yeah, JEDIONLINE or JEDIONLINE _ whatever one comes up. Follow me, man, and make sure on Instagram you follow Dirty Woke. Yeah, DIRTYWOKE. Follow Dirty Woke. That's where you get the clips and anything from Dirty Woke Productions, which is my production company. Anything that we're shooting or filming, the clips and stuff like that will be on Dirty Woke. So go over there. When you go to Jedi Online, you might get my skits or me talking about this or that, or just other little bits and bobs, jokes and that. Rare. So if you just want the Speakonomics, Jedi Online content, and anything that I'm doing content-wise, then make sure you are following Dirty Woke. Big up yourselves. Have a great week. You're done now. Get me. Jada, say bye. Jada's sleeping. Come up. Say bye. 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 Alright, we out, man.